Hey, hello, my dear students. Rohan sir is back with the English lecture. I welcome all dear second standard girls and boys in the English lecture once again. I hope you all have been good and you are taking care of your health and hygiene. And I hope that whenever you are going out, coming back in, you are using the mask and sanitizer. Please keep care of your health so that we can meet soon in the school all together healthy. Students, I hope that you have watched the previous English lecture. How was it? Did you watch it carefully? Because this is the time when you will feel that the language is getting a level up. Yes, you have to increase your level for understanding. That is what I said even in the previous lecture, just in the starting. That when you will start understanding the language, learning will be easier for you. Because the way you will understand, the way you will keep that word in the mind matters a lot. So students, again, before continuing, it is my humble request, please make sure that you watch the lectures very carefully, especially this English lecture, because when you will start understanding the word, you will be able to speak as well, right? So understanding is the first thing. I will try my level best to keep my tone as slow as possible. But then you also have to keep care that while I am explaining you the lesson, you will try to understand my tone, my words. You will repeat whenever I ask you to repeat. You will answer me whenever I ask you the questions. So make the environment like as if you are sitting in the class, in the physical class, in the school. Keep your water bottles and everything with you at your place so that fully you can enjoy the lecture and watch as if you are watching the story. And then see, everything will be easier for you. So let's get started. What are we going to do today? Today we will continue what we have started in the previous lecture, which is explanation of the 1-inch warrior. And before we start, yes, obviously we are going to just have the outline of whatever we have done in the previous lecture. So today as well, we will read the lesson and discuss the remaining part of the story. Perhaps we will even finish the story. Now it is up to you how much carefully do you watch the lecture. Let's see who is smart and who will understand the story. So let's get started. Here we go. As you can see, the textbook is there on the screen, the 1-inch warrior. The story started from the introduction of a man and a woman. They were husband and wife. They did not have any child. They were very sad all the time, just work, eat and sleep. No happiness was there in their house. So once they prayed to God, they wanted a small child so that they can take care of the child. They will have the new company. They will have the happiness spread all over. They can look after him so that they will remain engaged in the work and they will remain happy ever after. So God granted, permitted the wish, fulfilled the wish. God gave them a child. Now the complication, the sadness was the child was very tiny. But rather than becoming sad, the father and the mother of this child, that means this man and woman, were happy. In fact, the father named the boy Ishubosi because Ishubosi, the meaning of the word Ishubosi means 1-inch boy. As the boy was of 1 inch, the name was perfect for him. Then we understood that when the boy grew up gradually after the completion of studies, yes, the boy grew up not in the height in the age and in the knowledge. He was very smart. And students, remember one thing, those who have defect physically, eyes or nose or hands, their other sense organs are very sharp. God gifts them other sense organs very sharp. So Ishubosi, though he was short in the height, but there was no other minus point in him. Finally, he demanded his parents that he wanted to go out somewhere in the big city he already had researched for, and he wanted to work there. And certainly parents also permitted him, parents allowed him to go out, because parents did not doubt his skills. They knew that their child is very smart and will not come back, will not lose in any way, no matter wherever he goes. This way the parents allowed, and father gave him a sword. Not a real sword, the real sword is big for him, too big to handle. So father gave him a sewing needle, which was a size of a sword for Ishubosi. And the mother gave him soup bowl so that he can cross the sea and then he can go to the next side in the city to earn. This way, finally Ishubosi reached to the big city. The first spot where he visited is the big house. Ishubosi already researched a lot about the house. He knew every single detail. Like I said, he was otherwise very smart. Only the thing he was lacking behind was his height. Now, this house was the house of Lord Sanjo. The master of the house was Lord Sanjo. Till here we discussed in the previous lecture, and then I asked you few questions. Remember? Yes. Now, let's continue with the next part. Let us see what happens when Ishubosi meets to Lord Sanjo. Ishubosi tapped on the gate. The master of the house came out, but he could not see no one. Now students, what happened? Actually, the gate was of this height, and Ishubosi was very small. He was just standing in the front of gate. So when Lord Sanjo opened the gate, he was just looking at his level of eyes. But Ishubosi was down because he was very tiny. So Lord Sanjo, when he was looking up, he was not able to see Ishubosi, who was very tiny, standing near the gate. Now, Ishubosi called him. Here, if you can see on the screen, I am Ishubosi. Look down, I have come to serve you. Now here, Ishubosi speaks loudly so that Lord Sanjo's attention will go down, and then he will be able to see where Ishubosi exactly was standing near the gate. So Ishubosi was down there, and then he loudly said, I am Ishubosi, look here, I have come to serve you. So students, what do you mean by serving someone? Do we serve the dish? The waiters serve the plate? That's called serving. But not only that, but also when we help someone, when we be with someone, when we do the job under someone, that means we are serving them. We are doing the service over there, right? So that is what here the meaning of serving is. Ishubosi said that, look here, Lord Sanjo, I have come to serve you. Now, how will this tiny boy will help Lord Sanjo, who was already very famous? Let's see now what will happen. My son, you are smaller than my thumb. What can you do for me? Now here, look at the face of Lord Sanjo. How smart Lord Sanjo is. Ishubosi is not even of the size of Lord Sanjo's face. Lord Sanjo's face is bigger than Ishubosi. How will Ishubosi help him? The same question Ishubosi asked to the same question Lord Sanjo asked to Ishubosi. That, my dear son, you are very small. You are the size of my thumb. In what way will you help me? But here the situation will prove that we should never underestimate anyone. We should never think that that particular child or boy or girl will not be able to do anything for us. Even the mud is of very much important. Let's see why and how this happened. Now, when just Lord Sanjo was speaking this, that how will you help me? You are very small. Just then, a fly came buzzing by Lord Sanjo's ear. Ishubosi drew his sword and drove the fly away. The master was very pleased. Now, students, what happened, do you know? See, just when Lord Sanjo finished his line, that you are very short, this and that, just after that, one fly, house fly, let me show you. Just then the housefly came near the ear of Lord Sanjo, and the housefly was buzzing like this. You know, when a housefly buzz, it makes the sound of zzz in the ears. So this kind of sound the fly was making near the ear of Lord Sanjo. Yes, the fly was not so big, it was very tiny. So it came near the ear of Lord Sanjo, making the noise. And Ishubosi immediately took out the sword, the small sewing needle, and gave it on the face of fly. And the fly went away from Lord Sanjo. So this action of Ishubosi impressed Lord Sanjo very much. This is the way how Ishubosi proved that even the small things are very important. Lord Sanjo could have drove away the fly on his own by just waving the hands. But Ishubosi this time proved that he can help Lord Sanjo in any way he wants. Not only that, but also Ishubosi showed that how much smart Ishubosi was. So by his smartness, by his courage, he impressed Lord Sanjo. He now asked Ishubosi to look after his beautiful daughter, Princess Sanjo. So Lord Sanjo also had a very beautiful daughter, Princess Sanjo. Princess Sanjo was the daughter of Lord Sanjo. Now Lord Sanjo was so impressed that he gave the duty to Ishubosi to take care of her daughter, Princess Sanjo. It was a very responsible thing, very important duty, because daughter is very important to father. And this was Lord Sanjo, the master. So Ishubosi now had a very heavy responsibility of taking care of Princess Sanjo. I hope this much part, the story is clear so far. Now let us see, students, what twist takes place in the story. Will Ishubosi be able to handle Lord Sanjo's daughter or not? If yes, then how? If no, then let's see what will happen. Let's turn the page, and here it is. One day, when the princess was going to the temple, a giant tried to carry her away. Now here what happened? After the day passed, on the very next day, princess had the habit of going to the temple every day. So one day when she was walking towards the temple, slowly she was going towards the temple. Suddenly one giant, one monster came. See how dangerous this monster is. Red eyes, sharp teeth, so big in the size, with the horn on the head. So the giant came, the monster came to take the princess away. He can kill the princess, he can eat the princess. But you know that now it was the duty of Ishubosi to take care of princess. Let's see how Ishubosi will fight. Ishubosi was very tiny for the normal people. But now there was the giant, now there was the monster. Monster will not take even 1 second to eat Ishubosi. Let's see who wins at the end. Leave the princess or else. So Ishubosi was very angry. He jumped onto the hands of giant. And as you can see in the picture, he is showing the sword, the sewing needle. Ishubosi is trying to threaten the monster. He is trying to drive away the monster. Ishubosi said that leave the princess, go away or else I will kill you. Now the monster speaks. You little man, trying to scare me? Let me swallow you. Just imagine, students, what will happen. Let me turn on the camera again. Students, just imagine. The monster was very big. Say for an example, I am a monster and this is Ishubosi. Will I not eat like this easily, like a toast, like a biscuit? Still Ishubosi showed the courage of standing on the hand of monster and showing the sword. Sword was again very tiny. But let me tell you, students, what happens when a sewing needle touches your hand? The blood starts coming out and it hurts a lot. Though it is very small, but it hurts a lot. Same as the thorn. When you touch the rose flower, there is a thorn on the stick. It really, starts bleeding and it hurts you badly. Same thing now here, Ishubosi's sword was, though it was tiny, but it is going to hurt. It will be really very helpful. Again, the second time, Ishubosi will prove that size does not matter. All that matters is how you use your wisdom, your brain. Let's see what happens in the story next. Now the monster, by saying this, monster keeps Ishubosi in his mouth and closes the mouth. Now, will monster really swallow him? To swallow means to gobble something, to directly eat without chewing, without touching to the teeth. Let's see what happens. But as soon as monster kept Ishubosi in the mouth, intelligent Ishubosi kept poking the giant with his little sword, which was made up of sewing needle. How intelligent Ishubosi is. Let me explain it to you. See, now say for example, I am a giant and I ate Ishubosi. Now Ishubosi, where is Ishubosi? Inside my mouth. Ishubosi was poking. Poking means to beat like this again and again. So Ishubosi with his so small sword, sewing needle, started poking the monster inside the mouth. and monster started bleeding. The blood started coming out of the monster's mouth. And monster removed Ishubosi from the mouth. Who won? Monster or Ishubosi? Yes. So what happened? Ooh, ah, ouch, stop it. Finally, monster was in danger. He had to open the mouth to again remove the Ishubosi out of the mouth. So the giant spat Ishubosi out and ran away. But then he left his magic hammer behind. So the giant spat out the Ishubosi from the mouth and ran away from that place back to the jungles, back to the woods. But giant left one thing on the floor by mistake. He left his magical hammer there. So let's see what will happen with the magical hammer. Now, finally Ishubosi not only impressed Lord Sanjo, but this time he also impressed the Princess Sanjo. So the princess took the hammer, she hit it on the ground, and something magical happened. What would have happened? Just when you take the hammer, you hit it on the ground, what will happen? Just to bounce the hammer on the ground, will anything happen? Yes, this was the magical hammer, not the normal hammer. So, Ishubosi speaks, I am not tiny anymore. See, students, look at the picture. Look at the height of Ishubosi. Now his height is more than the princess. This is all because of that magical hammer which Ishubosi won by using his courage and his intelligence. Surely he was going to get the gift for this, and his height increased on the spot. And he was no more of 1 inch. Then let's see what happens. Ishubosi and Princess Sanjo were soon married. So Lord Sanjo, as he was very impressed, also Lord Sanjo now was very sure that his daughter, if she will remain with Ishubosi, she will remain safe. So Ishubosi and Princess Sanjo, they both married with each other to live together. And Ishubosi became a well-known fighter, samurai, Japanese fighter. So samurai is the word used for the Japanese fighter. And then they lived the happy life ever after. That is the end of the Japanese folk tale story. How was it, children? Did you enjoy the story? At the end, Ishubosi proves that nothing is impossible if you really use your mind. This is the fictional story. Nothing such can happen. But still, the moral is very good. That first, you should never underestimate anyone. Second, your karma, your deed, your work will never fail. It will really pay off. So always work good for others and for yourself. So this story was really very interesting, isn't it so? Let me ask you a few questions again before ending the lecture. Are you all ready, students? So the first question is, Ishubosi impressed Lord Sanjo by driving off what? By driving off means by, taking away which thing from Lord Sanjo's ears? Yes, by driving away the fly which came buzzing near the Lord Sanjo's ears. Okay. Now the second question to you, all girls and boys, listen to me very carefully. As Lord Sanjo was impressed, what kind of work he gave to Ishubosi? Come on, think about the answer and shout loudly if you know the answer. What kind of work did he give to Ishubosi once he was impressed? Yes, he gave the duty to take care of Princess Sanjo to Ishubosi. So one day when the Princess Sanjo was walking towards the temple, who came to take her away? Lord Sanjo? No. Yes, monster, giant, whichever word you use is correct. So the giant came to take away her from the halfway. Okay, then with the help of what? Ishubosi, started poking monster's mouth, into the monster's mouth, I should say. Yes, with the help of sewing needle. So students, at the end what happened? Yes, at the end Ishubosi was more heighted compared to Princess Sanjo. So he was of normal height now, he was no more 1 inch. Fine, so that is the end of our today's class. I hope you enjoyed, and that is the end of the explanation part as well. Watch out the lecture as many times as possible. Be ready with your rough book in the next lecture.